Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer by addressing a massive, and I mean massive, disconnect in how we manage our money today. Look, we all know we should have a solid plan for our finances, but the reality? Well, it's falling drastically short. Take this recent survey, for example. It showed that a whopping 86% of Americans say they have a budget. Honestly, at first glance, that sounds great, right? It kind of sounds like everyone is totally on top of things. Yet, staggering as it is, 69% of us still live paycheck to paycheck. So, what does this actually tell us? It tells us the problem isn't the idea of budgeting itself, it's how most people actually go about doing it. And this next number brilliantly illustrates the sheer urgency of why getting this right in 2026 matters so much. U.S. credit card debt just hit a record $1.23 trillion in late 2025. Trillion with a T. Now, combine that mountain of debt with the terrifying fact that 37% of adults can't even cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money. When you put it into that perspective, it is absolutely clear we need a completely new approach. So today, we're walking through a structured, step-by-step roadmap to fundamentally fix your budget. We'll cover the 2026 financial reality, knowing your real numbers, the 50-30-20 rule, automating your savings, building an emergency fund, and finally, some clever ways to save. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the 2026 financial reality and why you absolutely need a budget right now. As this Federal Reserve report highlights, with food prices climbing by 2.7% year over year and a softening labor market where keeping a job is becoming a real worry for folks, those old financial methods simply aren't enough to protect you anymore. Your budget literally has to be your armor against this new reality. Moving right along to Section 2, know your real numbers by tracking your net income. Now, this might sound super obvious, but budgeting from your gross salary instead of your net income is one of the single most common reasons first budgets completely fail in month one. I mean, you're basically budgeting with money you don't even have. Always look at your pay stub and find your true take-home pay. Oh, and a quick tip here, if your income bounces around a bit, always use a conservative 3 to 6 month average. Being conservative now is going to save you from a massive headache later on. For tip 2, before you even think about cutting anything, I want you to track every single dollar for 30 days across these 4 buckets. Grab your last 2 or 3 months of bank statements and just dig in. Why? Because most people wildly underestimate their spending by like 30 to 50%, especially on things like dining out and online shopping. You literally can't cut what you can't see. This exercise almost always reveals duplicate services or takeout habits you simply didn't notice. Next up is Section 3, the 50-30-20 rule, which is going to be your starting framework. This is honestly the most beginner-friendly budgeting system out there. The 50-30-20 rule just divides your after-tax income into 3 basic categories. 50% goes to needs like rent and groceries, 30% is for wants like dining out, and 20% goes straight to savings and debt payoff. It's simple, it's highly visual, and it just works. But here is the absolutely crucial point to remember. This rule is a diagnostic tool, not some rigid law you have to follow perfectly. If your needs are eating up, say, 65% of your income, well, this framework acts as a giant red flag to help you spot that imbalance. And if you're saving less than 10%, that's your signal that something definitely needs to shift. All right, on to Section 4. Automate your savings by paying yourself first. You literally must pay yourself first. Set up an automatic transfer to a high-yield savings account on the exact same day your pay hits. This is the real game changer because it completely removes willpower from the equation. You spend what's left after saving, not the other way around. That one tiny mental flip changes the whole shebang. Just look at the numbers here. Automatically saving just $200 a month at a 5% return builds over $30,000 in a decade. That money is just growing in the background without you even having to think about it. That, my friends, is the absolute magic of automation. Moving to Section 5, build an emergency fund to protect your finances. Your emergency fund is the ultimate safety net. It should ideally cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in a totally untouchable account. But look, if that feels completely overwhelming right now, don't panic. Starting with just a $1,000 starter buffer immediately puts you ahead of 37% of U.S. households. It acts as a much-needed shock absorber for life's unexpected turns. And using a zero-based budget ensures every single dollar, including that emergency buffer we just talked about, has a designated purpose. You literally subtract your expenses from your income until you hit exactly zero. This prevents those nasty surprise expenses from landing on a high-interest credit card because you've already planned for every single penny.
Finally, Section 6, clever ways to save for some really quick budget wins. Let's run through these 3 steps for some instant breathing room. Step 1, auditing your subscriptions monthly. This alone saves the average household $40 to $120 a month in wasted services. Step 2, the 24-hour rule. This interrupts the psychological hot-cold empathy gap. Basically, if you just wait a day before buying a non-essential item over $30, most of those impulse buys simply don't survive the wait. And step 3, call your internet or phone providers once a year for a loyalty discount. You'd be shocked, but tapping into their unpublished retention offers can save you a ton.
Now, to make all of this completely effortless for you, we've put all of these concepts into a free budget planner calculator over at investinglab.com. You just enter your income and expenses, and boom, it instantly shows your exact 50, 30, 20 breakdown, where you are overspending, and what you need to fix first. No messy spreadsheets required. The link is in the description, it's totally free, and there's absolutely no sign-up needed. Ultimately, budgeting isn't about restriction. It's really about empowerment. It's about knowing exactly where your money goes so you can decide where it goes next. So start today, look at your numbers, and ask yourself, what future do you want your money to build? Thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this explainer, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and make sure to subscribe for more work just like this from investinglab.com. See you in the next one.